up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, so nobody's into me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in mine, yeah.
Ayo, Jay.
Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it, now I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen and we not a minute late. Seen them down bad, now they tryna hate. Same ones try to hit me for the raise. Got a meal, now they coming with a blaze. Check the numbers, fam, I swear I'm getting paid. I'm a Don just like the Perrier. It's one time when I'm looking at a face. On the low like I'm pushing up the bass. Come down and I'll meet them at a gate. Got a check and I bought myself a place. They get some money and they blow it on bait. I don't flex but I'm pushing all the weight. Told them all I swear I got it's what it takes. Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it, now I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen and we not a minute late. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Yeah, I need it now, told him on the lay. I've been moving, dog, yeah, I'm on the way. I don't hear the talk, don't care what they say. I don't got no patience, I can't ever wait. I've been trying to get it, running up all these digits. And I've been in the gym, I've been up doing minutes. I just put in that work, told them it's surely business. And I see through the face, they all just burning bridges. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Yeah, they don't want it, dog, like I want it, dog. Yeah, they say they want it, then they took the summer off. I've been going down the list, checking numbers off. I was checking on your numbers, told them something's off. I was at the bottom, now you know I'm climbing. Now they sending deals, they know I ain't signing. They been trying to sell it, they know I ain't buying. When they send a text, dog, I ain't replying. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell.
Here we go. At the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On the road, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Frankie Candles YouTube channel. And Mafia, we got an amazing show for you guys tonight as Bitcoin has bounced on the value area low and has made its way up to that POC, as you would expect if you're looking at the volume profiles. So in today's live stream, I want to talk about the possibilities, guys, of getting a bigger pump to the upside, and more importantly, why I am looking for some potential short positions pretty close to where we're sitting right now. We have key resistance just above where we're at right now, and I am going to be looking for short positions at this level, as it could be a high likelihood area to put in a lower high before a bigger move to the downside. But the problem is there are still some mixed signals on the charts, so I want to go over this and talk to you guys about the likelihood of getting a move to the downside or a pump above those all-time highs. Shout out to the Mafia. Excuse me. Shout out to the CandleMafia. Put in a poll at the beginning of the stream, said, will BTC break the all-time high? And it's about 50-50 here. About 55% of you guys said, oh yeah, LFG, and 45% of you guys said, nope, dump it first. I'm going to be taking a look at both possibilities happening here, guys. I want to put a probability on both ends of those and kind of talk to you guys about how I am handling the price action right now, as there are still some pretty mixed signals on the chart. So buckle up. It's going to be a good one, Mafia. Shout out to you guys. Don't forget to smash that like button. Every 100 likes we get gives you guys an extra chance to win some free crypto on Friday's giveaway. And shout out to, I forgot who said it, but somebody asked, when does the ADA get given out? Shout out to Tyler Durden. It's usually like at some point the next week. I think it's like early in the next week. Tyler Durden could probably give you a more clear answer on that. But just give the mods a little bit of time to get that over to you. But one thing is for sure, as long as you claimed it, you will get that ADA. Shout out to Tyler Durden. But with all that being said, guys, shout out to you guys. Thank you all for tuning in. We got Tyler Durden in the chat, and show some love to our mods in the chat right now. You guys know I love them. They help us out so much with this YouTube channel. And if you guys like the Frankie Candles YouTube channel, drop some love for the mods in the chat. We got Dave Digital checking in. What is going on, bro? Now we can start the show. We got Darren Does Things. What is going on, bro? Thank you for being here, and thank you for all you do for us in in that premium Discord. If you guys didn't know, Darren Does Things is another analyst in the premium Discord, dropping some sauce of his own. So shout out to Darren. Thank you for doing that, bro. We got Medic Money in the chat. We got Chemistry Bro, one of our other amazing mods. What is going on, dude? We got Do in the chat. I actually think Do was the one that was asking about the giveaways. We got Mark Dutch, Nikki94 Boo. What is going on? We got Eduardo in the chat. We got Pennywise. We got John Wick. Respect the man in the chat. We got John Wick in here. What is going on, bro? And shout out to Red Elephant. And last but certainly not least, we got Shirley Sound and my paisan, John Vucci, and Stupid Bitcoin slipping in there last minute. Stupid Bitcoin slipping in there. But guys, with all that being said, we got a lot to look at on the charts today. Probably going to run for about an hour tonight. We're going to go over Bitcoin, take a look at some of those altcoins, and then we'll hop on out of there. And hopefully we can get a big move on Bitcoin this week, whether it's to the upside or the downside. And for that, let's go ahead and figure that out. So let's get into it. So here we are, guys, on the Bitcoin chart. And as you guys know, let me take a sip of this water real quick. As you guys know, we've been looking at price ranging around in this volume profile between, this level has moved a little bit, but this is the volume profile we've been looking at for quite some time as Bitcoin has just been ranging around here. And then we did just wind up losing that value area low. Everybody was super, super scared. And as you guys know, this is not where you want to look for shorts. This is where you want to be looking for longs. So I did not take any shorts down here. As you guys know, last week, I didn't really take many trades last week as things were so unclear on the charts. Now, we did have setups in the premium Discord. However, I personally didn't really take too many new positions as I am still long from lower. And, baby, it's going to be another week of fighting this chair. I swear, guys, this chair never sinks until I'm live. It's unbelievable. As you guys know, we slid below that value area low, and we actually put in some very, very specific bullish confirmations that were pointing to at least a potential reclaim of this value area low and a move to the PLC, which is where we're sitting right now. But it is not all sunshine and rainbows because, as you guys know, obviously last week, things were a little bit confusing as we had money flow coming out on the higher time frames, as well as some bullish signals on the medium time frames. The money flow on the 2-hour looked kind of good. It was very, very chopped up price action. However, I was letting you guys know, although, I did not take a short in this move down. I did take a short from the actual top here at the value area high. However, I got stopped out at break even. I'm not even going to go over that. We talked about that plenty. But at that point, once we wound up getting down here below this value area, there really was no short to be had here because I do not short the deviations below the profile. I simply look for longs down here. And if I were to look for a short, I would have to wait, right? Based off my trading rules, I can't just short a breakdown of support. I have to wait for a bearish retest on a significant level of resistance, which we may or may not be getting right this second. So we will be taking a look a little bit at the more local price action. I want to talk to you guys about why I am being very cautious at this point right here and why I am actually searching for some I almost said bearish positions. You're actually looking for some potential short positions as we approach this POC. But simply put, I do like to go over a little bit of how we got to where we're currently at. And simply put, guys, we got the deviation below the range. You got that bullish divergence on the 4-hour. Now, again, this was not the clearest signal as we did have our money flow fighting against us. Coming into the red, right? Typically, when you do see a big move above that value area low and a big move to the top of the range, typically you want your money flow to be curving up as that divergence is forming. However, we did wind up getting a little bit of a push up here on the money flow when we are now crossed over into the green. But just to kind of point out, guys, how choppy things are right now, like this money flow is absolutely hideous. I just want to be clear, the mixed signals are not fully gone yet. However, at least we are within our volume profile here, giving us a little bit of context into where price is likely to go next. So you have your value area high. So this is still, excuse me, our valid range here, guys. You have your value area low sitting here at 63,684. POC sitting at 66,969. Pretty much 67K. And then you have your value area high sitting up here at about 71K. So this is still our major range. And simply put, we got the deviation below, a reclaim of the value area low. This was a long setup in the premium Discord. So shout out to anybody who took that. I did not take it because I am still holding my longs from lower. And I am a little bit more interested in looking for a hedge short position as I am very heavily stacked long right now. So I did not take that fresh position, but it was a setup in the premium. So shout out to you guys. And we did indeed, right? This was a pretty clear setup for me as Although the bullish divergence was kind of unclear with money flow coming against it, it was still a bullish divergence. And oftentimes in situations like this, guys, if I can't get like a beautiful setup below the volume profile to take along, what I will do to kind of limit my risk is I will wait for a break above the value area low and a flip of that level into support before finally taking the long position and anticipating that move up to the POC. So just like a little bit of a less risky way to kind of take these volume profile trades. Typically what I will do is I go down to a lower time frame and I try to catch the actual bottoms here. But in a situation like this, if I did take this position, I would have simply waited, or actually the setup in the Discord was kind of more, let's wait to get back into the volume profile, flip that value area low to support, and then that would be the more safe long position for me. And then bada boom, now we are up to our point of control, which would be the next likely place for price to go. And now we are simply sitting right there. So that's kind of how we got to where we are right now, guys. But now the question that everybody wants to know is, where are we going next? And simply put, I will say this, guys. As you know, right, last week we were looking at two major time frames that had very bearish money flow. And it was the 12-hour as well as the 16-hour, which you could see, disgustingly enough, we are now back into the green, right? So just to add more confusion to everything, we've gone into the red, and now we're just simply back in the green. And then you come on over to the daily time frame, and we are getting a local push back up on our money flow. But in my opinion, this is not necessarily something to write home about until we wind up making higher highs on our price, on our money flow, right? Simply put, if we do wind up getting a continuation to the downside here, and this does wind up rolling over with our next red dot on the daily, simply put, in hindsight, and this isn't even really the bearish puzzle piece, because you could argue that the money flow coming back up here on the daily is somewhat of a bullish puzzle piece. But if you take a look at some of the higher time frames, I will bring it up in a second, specifically the 2-day. I just want to point this out, right? Take a look at the 2-day. Money flow is generally trending to the downside here, guys, right? Like, this is not my opinion. This is not, something that I believe, right? This is just simply what is on the chart, right? The money flow is clearly coming out on the 2-day. This is binarily bearish. This is, again, not my opinion. This is just what the charts are saying. And with bearish money flow on the 2-day, like we're seeing right here, simply put, we have to be aware, because I'll be honest, the 2-day is kind of the bearish time frame at this point, because what would we be expecting if we were looking at price just simply on the 2-day? What I would be expecting personally would be, because of our money flow trending to the downside, even though we have a green dot here, what would I anticipate here? And Creighton C, Curtis Neal, Dave Digital, Chemistry Bro, I know you guys know the answer to this question, but if we were to take a look at what we were going to have happen here, what would be the likely scenario? Simply put, because of our money flow coming to the downside here, that green dot on the 2-day would simply indicate a push to the upside to put in a very likely lower high before breaking the lows and coming down to some lower targets. Now, why is this? Well, simply put, the money flow indicates the longer-term trend. And I'm going to show exactly why things are so confusing right now, guys, because this 2-day would, like, if this was the only time frame I could look at, this is bearish, this would be my sentiment, 100% couldn't change my mind, right? And I hope this makes sense. Remember, the money flow indicates the longer-term trend, right? So when you have money flow coming down, chances are that it's going to be more likely to put a lower high here, high in here, and continue to the downside, right? Just like, and I show this almost every single day on the stream, so I don't want to beat this dead horse. You guys know I love animals, but you have a money flow crossover into the green right here, letting us know that this sideways chop may just continue to give us a trend to the upside in the long term, especially when you're looking at something like a 2-day money flow crossover, right? Money flow crosses into the red here, downtrend continues, money flow comes back up and crosses into the green, uptrend continues, right? And that is simply put how money flow works. It indicates the longer term trend, and then your green and your red dots are simply going to indicate the ebbs and flows in the market, right? So if you're new here and you're not used to looking at money flow and you're not used to looking at market cipher, simply put, green dot, red dot would be something like this. Green dot, red dot, 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 green dot, right? But the money flow would indicate, right, money flow crossover right here, the trend is likely to continue up. So when you're looking at something like the 2-day, and what we're looking at right now, simply put, you would anticipate this money flow, if it continues out, and especially if it crosses over into the red, that this would give you a continued trend to the downside, which brings me to my next point. Why I'm being careful within this range and not simply just doing like we were a couple of weeks ago and blindly, not blindly, but just calling for the highs to be broken, right? A couple weeks ago when we were in this big move up, simply put, I mean, honestly, since all the way down here, simply looking for longs to take the highs, right? Long the dip, break the high. Long the dip, break the high. Took a long position right here at 40K, still holding it, right? Simply put, long the dip, look for a new high. Long the dip, I believe we have a long position from down here as well. Long the dip, break the high. We are not in that situation yet, and at least if we are, it is not 100% clear. So we can't just take trades like this and assume that we're going to continue to break the highs if we don't have the information to back it up. So because of this 2-day and the way that it looks, that is what I would expect, right? I am being very cautious around the middle of this range for two major reasons. Because oftentimes, when you are going to get a breakdown of your current range, right, sometimes what will happen is you'll slip the range slightly, come back up, test your POC, right, or maybe even some levels above that before getting another big move to the downside. Now, that is that's the number one reason why. And number two, guys, if our 2-day bearish sentiment is going to wind up being correct, and we are going to see the money flow continue out, which, by the way, let me be 100% transparent, we do not know. Right? We don't know if that money flow is going to continue out or not. But if it is going to play out, trading is an if this, then that statement, right? It's if this, then that, right? So if that is going to play out, simply put, where would I be looking for that lower high to come in? Well, number one, I'd be looking at the POC of the range, right? As that is our next key level of resistance. And I would also be looking at our Fibonacci retracement levels, which we have right here in beautiful confluence with that point of control, right? Now, this does not mean that we can't break this POC and golden pocket, and we're definitely going to dump from here. And one of the really specific reasons for that is because we have our 786 sitting just above. So these are kind of the two major levels of resistance that I am looking at, right? And it's simply going to be the golden pocket and the 786 retracement from this impulse all the way to the downside, right? All the way to this low here. So if we are going to see the 2-day play out and money flow is going to continue out and we are indeed going to put in a lower high and we are going to come to the downside, if that is the case, then where is that lower high likely to come in at? Simply put, the POC golden pocket confluence or the 786 retracement, because we know that the most likely place for those lower highs to come in, we know oftentimes those lower highs do come in on a significant golden pocket 786 retracement of a big move, right? Or even a small move, right? Like any retracement that you get, like oftentimes will retrace to the 786 or the golden pocket. We talk about this all the time. I could try to show you guys some examples here. Let's see. So like right here, you can see, I know this is a little bit more local. Let me go in bar replay mode just to clean the chart up a bit. Bada boom, right? So what happened right here? Let me get rid of this, right? What happened here? We got a move to the downside, right? And I simply pull from the high to the low. And then if I were looking for a short here, let me actually come back in time just a little bit more. If I were looking for a short position here, where would I be looking? Simply put, if we know the low is going to be here, you would pull from the high to the low, and I personally would be looking at the 786 golden pocket for the likely lower high to come in, if you are anticipating that, right? Simply put, you get a move up, and what did you reject from before you broke the low and came lower? Well, technically you came lower. It didn't last very long, but, look at your money flow, right? But either way, the point is, where that lower high come in before cracking this low? Simply put, golden pocket 786. And you can backtest this. This isn't magical. I didn't make this up. I didn't invent this, right? It's a very common trading thing, right? So with that being said, simply put, the likely lower high is most probably going to come in. If we are going to get it, it is most probably going to come in at that golden pocket or 786, which means this is where I'm looking for my next short positions. Right? So if we push it, and by the way, this zone is coming in, the golden pocket POC is coming in between about, coming in between 66,752 and 67.3. Now, not only, there's other reasons to be looking at 67.3 to 67.5. There are other levels. I'm not going to bring them up right now. We have some naked points of control up there. I believe we have a daily naked point of control up there as well. So there is a lot of confluence at this level. Doesn't guarantee that we're going to dump from there, but it does make it a high likelihood place to potentially put that lower high in, and definitely an area of interest to be looking at for shorts, in my opinion. For me, not for you, for me. But if we break above that golden pocket, the next likely place for price to go is definitely going to be that 786. And then once you get above that 786 decisively, that's going to be kind of the invalidation, in my opinion, until we get all the way up to that value area high and beyond. So for the most part, this is what I'm looking at, guys. Simply put, 786 golden pocket retracement. If we're going to put that macro lower high in, chances are it's going to happen in here, right? If it does not happen in here, very likely that we go off to see the highs, at least the value area high, if not, potentially crack that all-time high at about $74,000. So, which, by the way, we also still have a whole lot of liquidity sitting above that high, right? And we're kind of in a situation here, guys, with these heat maps where we have a whole lot of liquidity below and we have a whole lot of liquidity above. And this is why I am taking a little bit more of a neutral stance right now, because not only, right, like I just said, the 2-day does look a bit bearish, right? The money flow coming out. But then you take a look at the daily, right? Like, and things are still pretty chopped up here, to be quite honest with you guys. Daily, money flow is coming back up. But again, if we round that off, over time, that could still trend to the downside. And then you come to the 16-hour. That's freshly crossing into the green with some nice curvature to the upside on that money flow. Same thing with the 12-hour. And then you take a look at the 4-hour. 4 hours of fresh money flow crossover into the green. So some of these medium time frames don't look horrible. And then even that daily starting to pop up pretty aggressively with our money flow here doesn't look horrible. But there's likely going to be a lot of volatility and noise coming up here in the next week. So with that being said, things are still pretty unclear. That's why I'm starting to take a little bit more of a look at the higher time frames because, this is going to be less reactive. This money flow is going to be less reactive than the daily money flow, right? So if that daily money flow is going to be a fake out, chances are the 2-day money flow is simply just going to continue to roll over here unless we get some kind of a crazy fake out. So the way I'm playing this right now, guys, is simply put, I'm looking for shorts in the area I just talked about, the POC Golden Pocket 786 retracement level. If we break that, more likely than not, we are going to get a move up to that value area high. And simply put, at that point, you're playing this as a typical volume profile, looking for your next short confirmations as you deviate above. Deviate above? What does that even mean? Deviate above the value area high, just like we were looking for the longs as we deviate below the low. Right now, again, just because things are unclear does not mean that you can't catch long positions. It doesn't mean just because things are unclear that if you get bullish divergences on key time frames with money flow, agreeing with you or whatever, doesn't mean that you can't take these positions and expect price to potentially play out as it typically does with the volume profiles, right? Just because things are murky doesn't mean you can't take the trades, right? Like I said, this was a long set, or not this, but the entry right here was a long setup in the premium Discord. But we take these trades, right? And again, just to be fully transparent, I did not take this fresh trade because of my personal situation. I'm in longs from lower. But, as long as you could take these positions with the knowledge of the mixed signals out there and the understanding the confusion in the trading environment that you're in. So again, it doesn't mean that you can't long the low or short the high, when things are mixed. But you just have to understand that, like, hey, we're going to get into a long here, right? But the 4-hour money flow is kind of choppy. So if it doesn't play out, I'm not going to be that surprised. And then you can manage your risk accordingly. So that's what I'm looking at on Bitcoin right now, guys. That's for the most part what I'm looking at on Bitcoin. Again, like, simply put, if you're looking at this major range that we've been looking at all last week, simply put, deviation below the low, reclaim of the value area low, and now we are simply sitting at the POC. So if you are looking at these volume profiles, this move should just be like right on track. But I will say, typically on these volume profiles, we will expect a flip of that POC and a move up to the value area high, which is possible, but I am being careful because I understand that we have that Fibonacci Golden Pocket 786 retracement sitting right here. And we also have the 2-day money flow looking kind of bearish. So if we were able to get some kind of short entries here and we see that 2-day play out, this could be an area to look for the shorts. And this is nice too, because if we get that push above that 786 and a decisive hold above that level, that invalidates this trade idea completely. And then at least we know, like, okay, hey, probably not coming down from this level at least. Let's just let this thing ride, look at the next key level, and find a fresh setup. So that's all I got for Bitcoin for now, guys. That's what we're looking at. And there you go. Pretty simple plan as we go ahead and move on into this next week. Shout out to Yellow Yup Candles. Says, great work. Shout out to Yellow. I appreciate you, bro. Let's see. Yeah, and I will say this. We were looking in the premium Discord. We were looking at the altcoins, and shout out to Jay, says the altcoins look like they want to rip. I will say this. The altcoins don't look as ugly, right? Or at least some of them don't look as ugly. At least they're a little bit clearer to read. So if you guys, shout out to Mark Dutch, says BGT. Bro, I thought you said bot, and I was like, oh, God, we got bots in the chat now. But With all that being said, guys, shout out to the moon said show ETH. Shout out to the moon. Let's go ahead, drop those altcoins in the chat if you guys want me to take a quick look at them for you. And we'll start off with ETH, or I should say we'll start off by showing ETH. Shout out to you. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Okay, so yeah, drop those altcoins in the chat, and we will start off with Ethereum, or Erythrium, as your grandmother might call it. I'm already out of Aztecian and Cactus Moss water here, guys. Oh, boy. But here we are, right? Taking a look at Ethereum. Things remain basically the same. What were we looking at on Ethereum on Friday? Simply put, we put in the 4-hour bull div on our key level, which is the weekly naked point of control. And then we also, bada boom, had a 4-hour bullish divergence into that key level of support. And what happened? We got the bounce. Now, what are we fighting with right now? Simply put, we are at the value area low of that previous range. Let me pull this to current and see what we got here. Yeah, so right now, if you pull it to the the current range, or the range to your current candles here, let me go ahead and adjust this. Bada boom. So if you're looking at this in terms of this profile with the current with it pulled to the current candle, we have just flipped that value area low to support, and we are starting to get a little bit of a push to the upside. So if we are able to continue up here, guys, the next logical place for price to go, in my own personal opinion, is going to be this golden pocket. And what is above that, an even more interesting level, which is your point of control 786 confluence, which in my opinion, if we are going, it's very similar to Bitcoin, right? If we get above that 7.8 golden pocket, we could look for that POC 786 right here. And I would be careful and potentially open to looking for some short positions at these levels, simply put, because if we see the same thing play out on Ethereum that we would potentially expect to happen on Bitcoin, we could look for that lower high to come in at these levels. Now, like I said, some of the altcoins don't look as bad as Bitcoin, in my own personal opinion. But if we take a look here at the daily, right, like this still looks somewhat similar to Bitcoin, right? Daily money flow, like that VWAP rolls over, this money flow could just wind up rolling back to the downside, which would indicate that the overall trend will continue to the downside. But what do we need in order to continue a move? We need to put in that lower high. And again, we know where's that lower high likely to come in? Simply put, between the golden pocket 786, which, by the way, if you want a numerical value on that, between about 33.85 and 35.37. So those are going to be the two major levels of resistance I'm looking at. You break the 786, simply put, you're going to look to the value area high above. So that's kind of self-explanatory, but not impossible, right? And again, trading is an if this, then that, right? So if this money flow is going to cross over into the red and give us a continued downtrend as we'd expect, if this, then the lower high is likely to come in right here like that. So that's what I'm looking at. Next key level of support, if that does wind up coming to reality, next key level of support I would be looking at would be this weekly naked point of control at 26.26. Now, and there you go, right? And then to the upside, you really got to get above. Let me go ahead. This has actually moved. You got to get above your value area low. I mean, this will be very, very key resistance in my opinion. Right here, between the value area low and value area high, right? And what I mean by that is value area low of this upper range, right? Right here. Value area low of this range and the value area high of the lower range. So if we do get a bigger move up, let's say we don't get the lower high on the golden pocket 786, which, by the way, is completely possible. If we get above that 786, flip it to support, looking for a push up into that next key level right here, which is coming in between 3747 and 3800, in which case we could potentially look for shorts. But if you reclaim this value area low decisively, that's where you could get the bigger move up to your next targets to the upside, sitting at 4082 and 4395. Simply put, just a game of volume profiles here. But again, based off the higher time frames, it does look more probable based off the information. Not my opinion, right? This is not my opinion. This is based off the information on the charts. It would suggest that money flow on the daily and even money flow on the 2-day would make it much more likely to get a lower high here and a continuation to the downside. But again, as traders, we understand that that is not 100% certainty, right? Always an if this, then that statement. If price comes up to these key levels and I do not get bearish confirmations, I simply will not take the short position and I will wait for higher, right? And we did have long setups in the premium Discord for a long from this key level right down here in the premium. Shout out to the kitchen. But other than that, guys, waiting for these key levels to come in. All right, let's go ahead and continue on. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Night of Eternity. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for that super chat. I appreciate you. He says, think Jasmine could charge to 5 cents even with the BTC correction to 55K ? Shout out to Night of Eternity. Do I think Jasmine can? Well, it depends, right? Now, obviously, most things will wind up following Bitcoin. Now, if we see Bitcoin kind of continue to range, or maybe even see Bitcoin fall a little bit, and we see Bitcoin dominance fall, we could see the alts start to run just a little bit. If I pull up Jasmine real quick, I'm not going to do a full rundown here because I want to make sure we have time to cover all the alts that we get on the list. But let's see. I mean, Jasmine for a run to 5 cents. Here's the thing, right? Do I think that's unrealistic? In general, no, not really. I don't think that's unrealistic at all, right? Like, I think that's like and shout out to Night of Eternity, like, not an unrealistic call. Like, you'd be shocked, brother. Sometimes people people come up with like some crazy predictions, but no, I don't think this is unlikely to come, somewhat soon. On a pullback to 55K, I don't know. Now, that is a very specific situation. Like Bitcoin dumps to 55, and then Jasmine runs up to 5 cents. Like a very specific situation. But if Bitcoin continues to consolidate, even if it pulls back a little bit, you could still see some of the alts run up. Whether it hits 5 cents or not is going to be like almost impossible to predict. But it's not like you're calling for like a $20 Jasmine, in which case I'd be like, yeah, not a chance. But no, I don't think what is that from here? I mean, it's still a pretty decent rip, almost 144%. But, in the grand scheme of things, not impossible. Kind of hard to, try to guess if it's going to happen if Bitcoin dumps to 55K. But I don't think that's too unrealistic. Assuming Bitcoin doesn't like really nuke. And it also depends on, what is the pullback based off of, right? It's like, is Bitcoin pulling back because we just got super bearish news based off the geopolitical situations in the world right now, which are just getting tenser and tenser? In that case, we're probably more likely to see something that like what happened in 2020, in my opinion, where everything kind of just takes one gigantic dump, flash crash to the downside, and then a quick recovery. As you guys know, if you know what I'm talking about, like WW3, right, with the geopolitical tensions rising, typically these things will cause a sudden crash in the market, but then over time wind up being very, very bullish for the markets. So again, depending on what pulls us back, if it's just kind of general consolidation and maybe just a healthy pullback on Bitcoin, maybe that's where we see the alts continue to run a little bit. But if it's off some black swan news like that, I would not expect Jasmine to go to 5 cents if Bitcoin is dumping because of WW3, right? And I'm going to stop saying that so YouTube does not ban us. I don't even know if they care about that. But anyway, shout out to Retro Mikes. Thank you. Retro Mike, not Mikes. It's only one Mike. One Retro Mike. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you for that super chat. He said, what gets to $1 first? Jasmine or XRP? I will bet on Jasmine any day over XRP. It doesn't look like XRP is going to go anywhere in general ever again. And obviously, I'm just joking, guys. I'm bullish on XRP. I'm not bearish on XRP, but it has been quite boring recently, so that's the only reason I would bet on Jasmine. But shout out to Retro Mike. I feel you, bro. All right, let's see. Shout out to Alex, says, how do you pull the volume profile? Dude, I thought you asked how do you feel about the volume profile, in which case I was about to tell you to sit down. I'll chew your ear off about it. But no, shout out to Alex, says, how do you pull the volume profile? I have a ton of tutorials on the live stream, on the YouTube channel if you want to check them out. But I mean, simply put, you want to come over here, right? So you want to come 1, 2, 3, 4 tools down to your, I don't know what they actually call this. Yeah, forecasting and measurement tools. And then you want to come down to the fixed range volume profile. And then simply you want to click on anywhere on the chart, right? I mean, preferably where you want to pull the profile, right? So you would come here, click once to set your anchor point, and then you don't have to drag. Just click once, and then move your mouse to the end of where you want to pull the profile, and then click again, and it will pop up your profile over the candles that you chose. So there you go. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on to our next altcoin, which is going to be WIF. Maybe we'll come back to Jasmine in a second. I just wanted to touch on that 5 cent prediction. Shout out to I forgot who asked the question. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on to WIF. Let's take a quick look at WIF. And here we are, right? So simply put, I believe we looked at WIF on Friday, if I'm not mistaken. But simply put, came down to the value area low, right? Kissed our box here, got a bounce back up here. Now we're rejecting off this golden pocket. I still, personally, right, daily VWAP rolling back to the downside. Why did we have this golden pocket here? Well, we knew that if you got a bounce here, that you would likely get resistance on the golden pocket 786. I would honestly say that this 786 value area high confluence is the stronger level, but it does not mean that you can't come down from the golden pocket. And with that VWAP rolling over on the daily, depending on how aggressive that decides to come down and cross over and give you a red dot, you may reject from the golden pocket or you may go up for that 786. Now, me personally, I would much rather wait, right, and risk missing the move, right, to wait for the stronger level to come in, which in my case, right, would be the 786 value area high. Why is this the stronger level? Simply put, there's more confluence here, right? So, that would give you the full retracement, hit the value area high, you could find your bearish confirmations, and then simply put, this is just a more sound short position, right? Because I do not like shorting or longing in the middle of a range, right? You have your range right here. This is a no trade zone for me. I'd rather wait to come up to the high for a high probability short, right? Or down to the low for a high probability long, right? There's a reason why every time we come down to these value area lows, I'm not scared, right? Like I'm never like, oh my God, we're going to zero, FOMO short, right? We do not short support. Doesn't mean that you're not going to break down out of the range. It just means that you don't want to FOMO in at support. And oftentimes, if you've been watching the live streams, if you've been following with the YouTube channel, if you know anything about the volume profiles, more often than not, you do get a bounce from these lows. You very, very rarely will, not very rarely, but like more often than not, unless you have significant bearish signals, which you could typically see at the high of the range, chances are when you come down to the low, if you're not getting any crazy bearish confirmations, you are going to get a bounce at that level, right? You do not want to short support. You want to long support. This is where, a lot of people, not a lot of people, but, people will come into the live stream, right? People who are not really in the CandleMafia, they just kind of come by. They'll always say like, why is this guy bullish? We're breaking critical support. And it's like, yeah, because this is how retail gets wrecked all the time. They get super bearish at support. They short, they FOMO short, they FOMO short, they FOMO short. All their stop losses and liquidation levels are above. And this is how the retail gets wrecked. And this is why I do not FOMO short at support. And then it's the same thing at the highs, right? Prices at the highs, and we'll talk about, we're getting some bearish confirmations here. Like we could get a short position in here to go back down to the value area low. And the people who don't understand how the asset moves or how to read a chart, or they might just be new, right? And I'm not throwing shade at these people. This is just the reality of the matter. Typically when we're looking for shorts at the highs and longs at the lows, when we're looking for shorts at the highs, they're like, we're pumping. How is this guy looking for shorts? Because typically that's what you want to do, right? You want to do the opposite of what retail does or like new people do. You want to short resistance, long support, not the opposite. When you first enter the markets, it makes much more sense in your head to see a move to the upside and be like, we're going up, jump in, and then get the ride to the upside. But this is not typically how it works. This is typically how you lose all your money. So just keep that in mind, right? Like when in doubt, find a volume profile and figure out where you are. This is why we love the volume profiles. They give you context, right? So when we know when we're just losing this range, we're not just blindly longing either, right? You have to get your confirmations, but you are definitely not FOMO shorting, in my opinion, right? And you might be thinking to yourself, well, Frankie, this isn't going to range around forever. So what if it does break to the downside? Do you just not get the short? Do you just like let them all go? Not even close, right? Because we're looking for the shorts, except for the high. We're looking at them at the highs. So if I am not short from the top, I am not shorting the bottom, right? And this is exactly what happened here. I said this earlier in the stream. I did short here, right? We had a setup in the premium Discord to go short here with specific confirmations. I took the trade, and then I went to sleep, and I moved my stop loss to my entry, and I got stopped out at break even overnight, right? So what happened the next day? We absolutely dumped. I didn't cry about it. I didn't feel like I was missing the move, and I certainly did not FOMO into a short position after we started moving down. I simply said to myself, hey, I was short from the top. I got stopped out at break even. I missed the move. I let price do its thing, and then we simply look for the long position back up, right? Now, and that's how it is, right? You don't short support. You short resistance. You try to catch the breakdown before you're losing the support, right? That way, by the time you're down here trying to figure, oh my God, are we going to break down? I don't know. You're already massively in profit, right? It's already like a banger trade at that point. So it's like you already have your profit locked in here. And at that point, you're just saying, hey, if it breaks down, my little single or double, right? Not going for home runs here. There's singles and doubles. If you get that single or double, with your stop loss at break even or in profit, you're simply just saying, hey, like if this comes up and stops me out in profit, I win the trade. And if it breaks down and comes lower, my little single or double turns into an absolute grand slam, right? It's a very cozy way to trade. It's very, I don't want to say safe, but it makes you feel safe at times, right? Especially when you can move your stop loss and stuff. You really wind up in some pretty good situations. So there you go. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue on here. Yo, shout out to Yellow said, I eat bears for breakfast. Let's go. Shout out to you, bro. Start chomping away. Let's get these bears out of here. Let's see. Bada boom. Shout out to Top G. Said, hey, Frankie, can you take a look at Matic? Ooh, Matic is not on the list, but I'll tell you what, Top G. If you let me ride in your Bugatti, I'll go ahead and take a look at Matic. I'm just kidding. I'll try to take a look at it either way. I mean, I wouldn't hate a ride in the Bugatti, but let's go ahead. I want to go through the list first. We'll take a look at these alts, and then we'll try to drop in Matic right at the end. Shout out to Captain Kirk in the chat. What is going on, Cap? Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you. Shout out to Dave Digital. Said, Supersonic Jalapeno Cheeseburger. Yum. Shout out to Dave. Is that a real thing? Sounds fire. Both literally and figuratively. All right, let's go ahead and continue on. Okay, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. All right, let's go ahead and take a look here. So on Cardano, take a look at our chart here. And is this, I think this is our running chart. I believe this is it. Let me just double check. Yeah, okay. So let's see what we got going on here. I'm going to get rid of, this is tapped, right? This daily naked point of control has been tapped a while ago, so I'm going to get rid of that. Get rid of these purple boxes. Get rid of this range. Not because this range is not worthy anymore, but it's just kind of far away. So yeah, I wonder what we bounced off of right here. Not quite sure. We can get rid of this though. Actually, no. I'm just gonna clean this up. I'm not gonna delete it fully, but just gonna get rid of it for now. Yo, shout out to Creighton C. Says, since you're busy this weekend with like the family and friends or whatever, what would you like to do Thursday? Should I bring balloons? Body glitter. Shout out to Great and C. Body glitter. Pasty. Somebody call the cops on Great and C. Let's see. Pasties. How do you want to do this? Don't fight it. It's happening. Shout out to Creighton C. I'll say this. I'm down with the balloons. I'm down with the balloons. The body glitter and the pasties, I don't know what you're going to do with that. I'm not against it, but I don't know if I want to say I'm fully for it yet. But shout out to Creighton C. He is referring, guys, I don't know. I'm being told by Tony D that we might not be live Friday. It's my birthday on Saturday. I had to be corrected about that. I thought it was Friday. My birthday's on Saturday, but Tony D said I'm probably not going to be able to stream on Friday. I don't know what that means. I can't even tell you guys what it means, but I don't know. It's kind of making me nervous, though. But shout out to Creighton C. Bring everything, Creighton. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We'll experiment, I guess. Shout out to Creighton C, bro. Thank you so much for the super chat, bro. You're the GOAT. I appreciate you. And now, let's see what the heck is going to happen here to Ada. Yeah, shout out to Cardanzo and our boy James Kramer. But, I mean, simply put here, right, I would definitely be keeping an eye on this value area high, this POC, this value area low. Bada boom. Bada bing. Right there. Okay, so simply put, we slipped this volume profile. We got back inside. We're kind of high up here on the daily. But simply put, right, like this is the power of the volume profiles. I get rid of this blue box as well, right? You break down below your old range. You get accepted into the new one, find support on your value area low, right to the POC, another breakdown, try to get back above. Finally, you're able to get back above here, flip this level 2 support, which is the value area low, right back to the POC, and now we're potentially trying to flip that POC to support. If we succeed in doing so, the next likely spot for price to go, in my opinion, will be about 55 cents at that value area high. Now, I mean, this is the range that you're trading in as of right now. So this is definitely going to be relevant, in my opinion. So let me go ahead and label this value area high, POC, bada boom, and your value area low. So this would definitely be the range that I would be keeping an eye on, right? So for the most part, I wouldn't really be looking for shorts until we made it up to that value area high, or longs until we made it to that value area low. Take a look at that higher time frames. VWAP on the 16-hour, kind of flat, looking to roll over back to the downside. But look at your money flow. Like I said, guys, the altcoins don't look as confusing or nasty as Bitcoin. This, to me, makes sense, right? Because what happened here, money flow was coming out, indicating a downtrend was likely. And then what happened? Money flow crossed over into the red, and the downtrend persisted, right? So now we spent a decent amount of time in the red. We have two nice, big, oversold anchor waves down here, right? And now we're starting to see the money flow curve back to the upside. Now, I don't really like this negative concave curve here. I would much rather this be a fat curve to the upside, but for the most part, you can't argue that this is trending to the upside. Once that crosses into the green, you would anticipate a trend to the upside, right? So you would expect that trend to continue back up. And the reason this makes more sense than on Bitcoin is simply because we spent some time in the red here, where if you go to Bitcoin, it's just like, you squeaked into the red, you're back in the green, but you're probably making a lower high. And then you come down to the other time frames, everything's just chopped up. But here on Cardano, in my opinion, like this is just a little bit cleaner, right? So I would definitely be eyes set on that value area high at about 55 cents. And then again, if you wind up breaking above that level, I would simply just keep your eyes on the prize here, which would easily or simply be the value area above, right? So if you come back up here, right, break above this value area low, that would be your key to about 65 cents, 64 cents, which is the value area high of your upper range. So these would definitely be the key levels I'm looking at. And, if we are going to see a similar situation as on Bitcoin, where we may be able to put in a lower high and a big continuation to the downside, which, again, based off money flow here on Cardano would be, in my opinion, a little less likely to play out as like Bitcoin will, or how Bitcoin may. What I'm trying to say here is this level, right, the POC 786, that area where that likely lower high would come in on Bitcoin. On Cardano, that level would simply be sitting, in my opinion, well, there's a couple different areas, right? Locally, I would definitely be watching this value area high, right? This is definitely like a potentially dangerous place that we could put in that lower high and continue to the downside. But again, remember, this does look a little bit better than Bitcoin, so I'm not as anticipative of a lower high to come in here. I think I made that word up. But, on Bitcoin, I mean, quite literally, based off money flow on the higher time frames, it looks a little more probable for for the lower high to come in on Bitcoin rather than ADA. But if we're comparing levels, this would kind of be that high likelihood area to put the lower high in at, right? It's just a local Fibonacci 786 golden pocket retracement, right? So these are the two key levels of resistance. Other than that, I'm using these volume profiles as context. All right, let's see. Shout out to Crypto Anon. Yo, shout out to you, bro. Thank you so much for that super chat. He said, happy early birthday, brother. We're all so lucky to have you in our lives. You truly bring so much alpha to everyone you meet. I'm blessed to know you. Love you, brother. Shout out to Crypto Anon, dude. Thank you so much. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart, bro. I appreciate everything you do for this YouTube channel. And I am literally the happiest person on earth to sit up here and do this with you guys. So shout out to Anon. I appreciate you for appreciating me. I appreciate you appreciating me, appreciating appreciation. So shout out to Crypto Anon. I appreciate you so much, bro. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Great White wants to see Ren. Shout out to Ren. This is something we've been talking about in the premium Discord quite a bit. Lower market cap on that one, but actually a project I do like. I don't know if we're going to have time to take a look at it today. Shout out to Great White, but I will try to take a look at it at some point tomorrow. But with that being said, let's start flying through these alts because we are falling behind a little bit here. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look here at Velo. We'll take a look at the MEXC chart. Ooh, interesting. Let's take a look at the daily. Okay, so we are putting in some bearish divergences here on the daily. Let's come up to a higher time frame. Okay, so we got a decent bit of price action here to look at. VWAP on the weekly is coming down. I mean, you're pretty overbought on the weekly, right? Like, that's one thing to just keep in mind, right? You're definitely overbought here. Let's pull this golden pocket. Okay. So let me go ahead and pull up the VPVR as well. Of course, it's going to look like this. Okay, there we go. All right, let's take a look here. Let's turn off the value area, high value area, low POC. Bada boom. Okay, so yeah, I will say this. Weekly is overbought. VWAP is rolling to the downside. You have multiple drives of bearish divergence here on the daily. Multiple lower highs, multiple higher highs into a key level of resistance, which is that 786 Fibonacci retracement level. Money flow coming up on the daily, right? But your VWAP is coming down. So this, unless that's a fake out, yeah, this is a little chopped up, to be quite honest with you. 16-hour bearish divergence is confirmed. Take a look locally at the 4-hour green dot. Okay. So I'll say this. In the longer term, I'll give you a longer-term outlook on this, right? In my opinion, with the multiple bearish divergences, the weekly VWAP coming down, the fact that the weekly's also overbought, money flow's a little chopped up. But for that reason, I do think that it is possible to get a move to the downside here. However, locally, and by locally, I mean look at your 4-hour. Fresh green dot, right? This is like the hardest part of my job because it's like if I say I'm bearish, right, and I think it could come down based off the weekly, someone is bound to be like, what the heck? It's pumping. But this is like right now, right? When I'm talking about the longer time frames, I'm talking over the next couple of weeks, right? When I say if I'm bearish on the weekly or even on the 2-day, this does not mean that I'm expecting price to come down right now, right? This would be more indicative of, you could easily get another push above this high and then a bigger move down, right? So it's very important to understand the difference between your time frames and how they relate to each other, more importantly. So 4-hour green dot is printing, so I wouldn't be surprised if locally you got another push up here. However, if you are going to get a move down, I think it is likely going to be, I would be waiting for that next red dot on the daily here. Right here. Once that red dot prints on the daily and gives you that confirmation of the next bearish divergence, especially at that 786 retracement, that could give you the move to the downside. So keep that in mind. Now locally, yeah, not that pretty of a range. So yeah, that's honestly what I'd be looking at on Velo, right? Not too much other stuff, not too much more to look at. So yeah, I would look for a potential move up, but I'd be very, very, very careful. If you did get a push to the downside, bada boom, let's get rid of this. I wish this was a cleaner range. It's just ugly. Yeah, this is. So you could look at this potentially, right? You have a little bit of consolidation down here. You could look at this as a range. Bada boom, bada bing, bada bing. Okay, so there we go. So yeah, if you do get a pullback here, I would look at this as key support right here between about 0.011 and 0.010. This would be kind of your support if you lose that 786. I mean, this golden pocket. I would definitely look at this pocket as support. But for the most part, guys, I'd be more inclined to look for something like that. And then a bigger move down off those daily bearish divergences. Locally, this price action's ugly. I probably wouldn't even really be looking at this, to be honest with you. I would much rather look at this from a longer time, like a longer time frame. So if your divergences wind up playing out, right, you get that next red dot. I'd watch that next red dot on the daily, right? We could even write that down, and I would look for that for a bigger move down. So there you go. That's what we're looking at on Velo. All right, let's see. Bada boom. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. Said, watch Frankie's tutorial about Fibonacci levels. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. On point with those links, bro. Shout out to Rob. I salute you, my friend. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. All right, let's see. Shout out to Crypto Billy. He said, who forgot to flat smack that like button? Shout out to Crypto Billy, the GOAT. Or I should say Crypto Billy, the Billy Goat. Shout out to you, brother. And Creighton C with another super chat, bro. Unbelievable. He said, if it makes you feel better, Tony's the one who asked to borrow my body glitter and pasties. I can never keep Tony off the pasties, man. Unbelievable. He said he asked if the glitter was flavored. Yeah, it's called Razzmatazz for a reason. Have fun Saturday. Shout out to Creighton C. What am I getting set up for here? Edible glitter? I don't know, man. I don't know. Smash that like button if you guys like edible glitter. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue on. Somebody call the police on Creighton C. I'm just kidding. Guys, we need to do something about these. Hang on one second. Did I fix it? Oh, look at that. Get out of here, son. Anyway, shout out to the Crypto Chef. Thank you for welcome to the Muscle, brother. Thank you for getting that membership. I appreciate you. Okay. All right. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue on. 38 Racing coming in with the cop cars. Let's go. I didn't realize I wasn't green. Shout out to Crypto Chef. Welcome back in, bro. Shout out to you. But let's go ahead and take a look at our next altcoin, which is going to be Solana, which, not the market cap. Let's take a look at Solana here. Oh, here we are. Oh, no, this is from the premium live stream. I was going to say our lines are still here from Friday. But no, this is from earlier today. But here we are, right? What has happened here, guys? Let me actually just get rid of this purple box. But what has happened here? Simply put, move from the value area low, flip the POC to support, right up to that value area high, pull back, couldn't get it back above the value area high, right? And once you can't get back up above that value area high, next place for price to go is going to be that POC or value area low of the range, which is simply what we saw play out. And then as we got back down to the value area low, what are we doing down here, guys? Are we FOMO shorting? Are we, oh my God, it's dumping. Jump into your shorts. Hurry up. You're going to miss the move. No, the opposite. We look for the long positions when everybody's scared and everybody's looking for the moves to the downside and everyone's FOMO shorting. This is where the Mafia looks for longs. Retail, we let retail get wrecked. Let them get wrecked. Let them FOMO short. And then we take the contrarian positions, looking for the longs at support, not shorts, and simply looking for that bounce back into your POC, above your POC, and hopefully soon back up to your value area high. But we do have some intermediary levels of resistance up here that we have to keep our eye on if we don't want to get wrecked, right? So just based off this volume profile, we went from the high to the low. You are generally going to expect, especially because you're above both your value area low and your POC, you could potentially anticipate a move back up to your value area high. However, we now have this new kind of range that we've formed up here, which we could easily pull a volume profile on and likely find some key levels in that area where we need to be a bit careful. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that right now. Right meow, as some people would say. Shout out to Crypto Billy. Said super chat FOMO. Love you, brother. Shout out to Crypto Billy. FYP, FCU. Hashtag Givers Gain. Don't forget to check out Crypto Billy on X for Billy Go Tails. The best crypto Twitter space or X space that you could possibly be a part of. Go hop in on Tuesdays at 9 p.m., guys. Shout out to Crypto Billy. I know that's not why you're super chatting, but I like to pump good content into people. So shout out to Crypto Billy. Thank you so much for the super chat, bro. I love you dearly, my friend. And thank you for the super chat, bro. I appreciate you endlessly. Hashtag FYP, find your people. Hashtag FCU, Frank Campbell's University. Hashtag Givers Gain. Which, by the way, I know Givers Gain is oftentimes connected to me, but I do want to be clear. Crypto Billy invented that. And he is the godfather of Givers Gain. Shout out to Crypto Billy. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue on. Shout out to HJM Construction. Said, too many friend requests from Frankie Candles on Discord. Don't know which one, if any, are you. Shout out to HJM. None of them are me. They're all trying to scam you. I promise. If you ever get a DM from me, it'll just say, hey, what's up, bro? And I'll never ask you for anything. I won't ever just reach out first. I want to say I'll never DM anybody, but that's not true. Sometimes people DM me, and sometimes I have extra time, and sometimes I'm like, let me go through my Discord DMs. And when I do that, I do take time to answer. So I'm not saying I'll never DM you, but one thing I will never do is I will never trade for you ever, never in the history of mankind. I will never do that. I will never ask you for money. I will never ask you for a seed phrase. I will never ask you for a login. And I will definitely never trade for you. I think that's like the big scam. It's like, hey, give me your login. I'll just trade for you and make you rich. You don't have to do anything. Those are scams, I promise. Please be careful out there. They are relentless. But shout out to HCM Construction. Maybe one day, if I ever get a DM from you and I see it, I'll answer it. But I will not ask for any money. I promise you that. But be vigilant out there because we try to get rid of them. We try our best to get rid of these scammers, guys. They're like weeds. You pull one up, 100 more pop up. They're impossible to get rid of. And people have gotten tricked. So please be careful out there. Let's see. Wick said, Frankie friended me today and asked me for $20K worth of stable coins, but didn't want to take my XRP. Shout out to Wick589. Shout out to HJM. Said, appreciate you joining today. Shout out to HJM. No problemo, brother. Please be careful with those scammers. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue on. Yeah, Yellow says thieves. Unbelievable. I will never understand that. Why people want to steal from other people. I don't want your money. I want my money. I'm not, it's like, it's unbelievable. I'll never get that. I don't know how these, unbelievable. And the funniest thing is, like, have you ever watched, like, the scammers who get like trolled by, like, counter scammers, like the guys on YouTube? I don't know their names. They just, like, troll scammers. And the scammers get mad like you're doing something wrong. Right? It's like, that's unbelievable. They get, like, pissed off. It's crazy. Anyway, so for Solana here, guys, this is what I'd be looking at, right? Again, above the value area low in the POC, we could anticipate a potential move to the value area high, but we have to understand the context. We have this big chunk right here that has created a lot of resistance above, right? So simply put, there's a few different levels I'd be watching, right? So if we pull our fib from this high all the way to the low, you can see we have two major levels I'd be paying attention to. Golden pocket value area low right here, as well as the 786 POC confluence. So on the way up here, right, obviously we are going to anticipate the value area high potentially to come in here, but we have to understand that, I mean, look at your 6-hour money flow. This actually doesn't look that bad, right? Like, this does look like it wants to continue up. However, come up to the higher time frames. The higher time frames are still bearish. Right? This is bearish, right? This is not my opinion. I want to be very clear about this. I am not bearish on this money flow because I feel bearish, right? This is just binarily bearish. Money flow is coming out. This is bearish, right? There's no arguing that. Whether it plays out or not is arguable, right? But one thing is for sure, if I were just looking at this today, I would anticipate a lackluster move to the upside before putting in a lower high and continuing back lower. So if that's going to play out, we have to be careful in this zone of resistance. And again, these key levels, first zone, $170 to $175. Zone number 2, POC 786, between 184 and 187. And then once you get above that 786, in my opinion, I think it's much more likely to come up to the value area high. And in that case, you're just watching price go through the volume profile. Simply put, there is Solana. All right, let's go ahead and continue on. Shout out to Enzo Mining, says, let's get an ATH on the, let's get an all-time high on the like button. Smash that like button, guys. Don't forget, the freest, the most free and easiest way to help spread the word and help out this YouTube channel is to smash that like button. Let's go. Shout out to you. Shout out to Enzo Mining. Let's go. Okay. All right, let me just do a quick little check-in on Bitcoin here. Yeah, as we are still just kind of, just playing with that golden pocket. And again, you know, I know things are a little bit chopped up here, guys, right now, but I will say this. Also, if you take a look at Lux Algo here, let me pull it up on the daily. Here's the thing, right? Daily Smart Trail is also swooping in right on this golden pocket 786 retracement, right? This is, you know, again, oftentimes, right? Let's look at the Smart Trail. Typically, especially on something like the daily, Smart Trail is just dynamic support and resistance, right? So when it's red or purple in my case, if you have Lux Algo, this will be default red for you. You come up, bearish retest, rejection. Bearish retest, rejection. Smart Trail turns bullish, aka into support. Now you're looking for retracements and taps on the bullish Smart Trail for a move up. Tap on the Smart Trail, move up. Front ran it right there. But you continue up, right? Retracement into your Smart Trail, another move up. Retracement into the Smart Trail, another move up, etc., so on and so forth. And now we are seeing, right, obviously the Smart Trail has been pretty bullish for quite some time. And now we've seen it flip bearish, and it is flying right through as price comes up here. As this comes down, we do have pretty nice confluence on that 786 and potentially that Smart Trail if it continues down here. So this is, and again, guys, this is not just like a, oh my God, if you hit this level, we're going to dump to the downside, right? Very similarly over here, this is almost the same exact situation that we're in right now, right? You have your sideways range, right? You can actually even pull this all the way to here. You have your sideways range, and price was coming up to test that bearish Smart Trail. But what happened? Boom, we just ripped to the upside, and the Smart Trail turned back bullish, and we just continued to the upside. But we knew that was likely by understanding that where we were in the market was a likely, a high probability area to get a fake out on the money flow on Market Cipher, or just in general, get a fake out to the downside before another big move up, right? And the only way to tell that was because we were using the longer-term analysis, understanding where we were in the market to understand there was a high probability of a fake out to the downside before the next big move up. And we are still in that scenario. So again, this is another reason why I'm saying things are a little confusing, because if we were simply just looking at this and money flow was simply just coming out on all the different time frames and we were not in an area where there was going to be a high likelihood of a fake out, I would be very bearish right now. Very bearish, looking for a very confident lower high in this zone to continue a move to the downside. High probability. But that is not the situation we're in. We may wind up seeing something like this. So you have to be careful, but you can't just ignore, because we think it's likely to get a fake out, you can't just ignore that you could put a lower high in here and reject to the downside. And with these daily smart trails, I know they don't flip-flop back and forth very often. It's very rare that you see these flip, especially in a strong trend like this. You only get these little flips once in a while from bullish to bearish or bearish to bullish. So this could be indicating, just like the money flow on the daily coming out, this smart trail could be indicating that this is going to be macro resistance before pushing back down to the lower prices, right? And like we could even come down to last time, right? Bullish smart trail, right? Continue up, continue up. We break the structure. Smart trail turns bearish. All the lower highs, although they were probably coming in on Fibonacci retracements, were also coming in very close to the smart trail before you get the next moves down, right? So keep that in mind. Very, very, and this is actually pretty slow moving on the daily, so this will probably be like in the similar situation tomorrow, but it will slowly trend down. So there you go. Don't forget to check out Lux Algo. As you guys know, they are a sponsor of the channel. If you guys want to check out these indicators and many of the other features they offer, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Definitely check out Lux Algo in the link in the description down below. They have all different subscription models that you could choose different indicators that you want, or you could save money by not using the ones that you don't want. You can pick and choose what you want, and they do a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you don't like it, send it back to them. I don't think you could send an indicator back, but just let them know you don't like it. I'm sure there's directions on the site, and you'll get a free refund. So check that out. But yeah, this daily smart trail flipping bearish and getting very close in confluence with these levels are definitely, in agreement with the potential lower high coming in here. Not a guarantee, but just another kind of bearish puzzle piece. So keep that in mind. All right, let's go ahead and continue on. Shout out to Dark Crash at Hydration Nation. Let's go. Shout out to Dark Crash and all the water bottles out there. Let's go ahead and continue on and take a look at AVAX real quick. Let's do it. Bada boom. AVAX. Let's check it out here on the daily. Let's go ahead and clear all the indicators. Take a look at the raw price action. Is this? Yeah, I think this is. Let me just check this Binance. Yeah, this is it. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, as we take a look at AVAX, I mean, this is almost exactly the same as all the other altcoins, right? We broke below the value area low. We got back above the value area low, and we're now like getting pretty close to testing that POC. On AVAX, we actually are testing this level. So, for the most part, I don't know why these volume profiles won't work. Bada boom. This range is still valid. If we flip this the goal here would be to flip this key level sitting at 39.34. Flip this to support. I think it's a likely run, high probability that we get a run up to 43.34 at the value area high of that range. And you also want to keep in mind that if you pull up your VPVR or your visible range volume profile, you can see here, right? You do have a little bit of a gap up to that value area high, right? So we flip that POC to support. You might see a quick move up to that value area high. And then if you start to break out of that value area high, you have another gap up to about 47.27, which could be like, you may wind up just filling this whole dump, right? You fill this whole gap right here, bada boom. You could wind up coming back up to this key level here, which... Let me go ahead and let's get rid of this. Bada boom. Extend. Come on. Extend that. Yeah. So I would actually even take this out. Let's extend this all the way to the current price action, which will move the levels. Yeah. So it's kind of two things you could look at here, right? Value area high, and don't forget about the gap. Let me pull up the VPVR once again. Don't forget about the gap, but I would also be looking at this extended. Come on, there we go. I'm actually going to move this to our larger profile here. Let me just give me a chance to readjust this. Bada boom, bada bing, right? So for the most part, just to kind of not separate this, but to combine this into one giant volume profile instead of looking at multiple different ranges. Simply put, what I'd be looking at here on AVAX will be a flip of this POC to support, and then potentially a quick move up to this value area high, right? You do have some levels right in here, but for the most part, you got a quick dump down, could make a quick move up, and then that easy target for me would be this value area high, sitting right here at about 47.75. POC sitting right here. If I can find the POC, there we go. Sitting at 39.39, and then your value area low. Come on. Your value area low is simply sitting down here at about 32.50. So this is definitely the range that I would be looking at on AVAX. And to be quite honest with you, take a look at the money flow here. Fresh money flow crossover on the 4-hour would indicate a trend is likely to continue to the upside. So I will say this. Like, Bitcoin looks a little bit sketchy right now. The altcoins don't look as sketchy locally, right? Because this fresh money flow crossover into the green could easily, this would make sense to get a move up to the value area high as long as you flip that POC to support. So I don't think this is unlikely. Unless Bitcoin gets some bearish news and we get some black swan to come in and it absolutely nukes to nothing, that is likely going to be what we could see here based off that money flow crossover. Bitcoin finally hitting that 47. Bitcoin's at 47K. Bitcoin finally hitting that $67,000 mark as we hit this POC, which is a perfect time to remind you guys that this is, I know this is a bit of a bigger zone, but this is potentially going to be the danger zone. We got to get above the top of this purple box at 69K, I would even say, before I am comfortable just calling for more upside. Until we break that $69,000 level, I'm going to be very cautious as price works up into this purple box to look for those bearish confirmations, to look for a potential lower high and a continuation down. If price breaks out and we get above the 786, I am totally fine with that because, again, like I said last week, I am holding my longs from here. I am also holding my longs from down here. So I am covered on the longs right now. I am long from much lower, which is why I'm more interested in looking for a hedge short, because I'm not covered if we get some kind of surprise move to the downside. So simply put, if we get the continuation up, I will be wrong, and I'm happy to admit that, right? I would be wrong for the lower high here. And it's not that I'm wrong. It's just that the TA didn't play out, right? I know a lot of people might see price not respect their TA or something like that, and they're like, I'm wrong. Not necessarily. Sure, you were wrong, but the TA just doesn't always play out, right? It's not just that, like, because we're not calling for 100% lower high, right? Like, this is where people get chopped up. Like, it's 100% going to dump from here, and if you think differently, you're an idiot. When people say that, number one, they're not an experienced trader. They don't really know what's going on. And number two, this is just not how the charts work, right? So rather, you want to approach it like this. I'm looking for a short in this zone, right? Technically, right now, I'm looking for a short in this zone. If it doesn't play out, simply put, I'll stop out at a small loss, if I even take the position, right? If I don't get a confirmation here to take a short, I won't take the short, and then I sit on my hands and wait for higher prices and wait for that next key level. We set the trap, wait for price to get into our trap, assess the situation, see if there's confirmations. If there is, then you take the trade. But if I don't get confirmation in here to take the short, I'll just sit on my hands, wait for the bigger move up, let my longs continue to pay me out, and then look for the next potential short position as we approach key resistance, which would be, once we get above that 786, we'll be between the value area high and the all-time high at about $75,000 or $74,000. So again, I mean, it's pretty much the same plan that we had since last week, but now we're just starting to see things play out. So with that being said, guys, I think that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. Actually, what we could do here is take a quick look at Matic. Saw a bunch of people asking for Matic here, and here we are, right? Lost the value area low, and yeah, most of the altcoins are either trying to reclaim their value area low or they're approaching their POCs, right? So right now on Matic, I will say this. Money flow is looking to cross over into the green here, or it is crossing over into the green, which would be bullish. If this is going to give us a sustained trend to the upside, this would be pretty good. Yeah, this would be pretty good news if you could reclaim that value area low, look for a move to your POC, and then up to your value area high. Simply put, right, this money flow actually does not look too bad for that. I would be careful locally because this is obviously going to be resistance until you wind up breaking above it. And in this case, right, if I were unable to get an entry down here or down here, which is typically what I try to do, But in this particular scenario, I'd probably feel safer waiting for a break into the range and then a retest of that value area low. And I would rather enter on the reclaim of that value area low rather than trying to take a shot up here, right, as we're hitting resistance and then going into a little bit of drawdown and then like maybe trying to add to the position to like try to grind up. I would simply just wait to come up and then wait for the pullback into the value area low if we could get it, enter my long position there, and then get a ride up to the POC and the value area high. And that's simply how I would handle that in a nutshell. But on the higher time frames, it looks the same as everything else. VWAP rolling over, money flow crossover into the red, which would indicate more bearish trends to continue. So be careful out there right now, guys. Things are not 100% clear. Things are still wish-washy. So be careful. Use your stop losses. And with all that being said, I think that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. I appreciate every single one of you guys for sticking around till the end. Shout out to Crypto 101 said, by the end of his sentence, we'll be at 69K. Let's go. Pump it, baby. Rip it to 69K. But with all that being said, guys, that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. Thank you all for tuning in and sticking around to the end. Smash that like button on your way out if you did not already. And with all that being said, that's all the time I got for tonight's live stream. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same place, same time, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Frank Candles YouTube channel. That's all I got. Smash that like button on the way out. Touch it with your nose. Hit it, headbutt it. Hit it with your knee. Elbow it. Creepily fondle it like this. I don't really care. Just do whatever. Touch that like button. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Look what's next for me, Joe. I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the f is it? They should have had them 2 bells ready. Space shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working, I'm up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah.
So I don't understand. So I can go live on Friday? My birthday's Saturday, though. Can you just tell me what's going on? You guys are making me nervous. And why is my cousin Satoshi coming? I haven't seen him. I think I've only met him in real life one time. And then especially ever since 2009, Bitcoin, you know, he doesn't want to be like seen by anybody. It's a surprise. Are you guys surprising me with my cousin? Okay, pasties and a lot of $100 bills. Now I'm super confused what the surprise is. Do you have to, let's not cut the pasties, dude. We don't need the pasties. Yeah. Okay. Hello? Dude, what is the surprise? Guys, shout out to Creighton C. I don't know what's with the pasties and the body glitter. I don't know what all that is, but apparently it's part of my birthday surprise now. For some reason, the surprise is getting less, I'm getting less curious about the surprise and more scared of the surprise. So shout out to you guys. I don't know. I guess we'll find out on Friday what that's all about. But anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same place, same time. Pray for Bitcoin. Hopefully this thing could just rip. That's all I got. Frank Candles out. Bing bong.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the roll,